So Mackenzie Dern, Jandy Rober was a bit of a barn burner, wasn't it? Oh my lord. We heard from UFC president Dana White that the main event actually stole the fight of the night from the two ladies. And it was a great fight, as kind of the narrative now when you've got such high level ground fighters. We get a kickboxing match and we got a little bit of ground fighting, but probably not really what we wanted to see from such high level operators. But nevertheless, we got to see the eventual winner, Mackenzie Dern. We got to see more of her striking, which is evolving. I did like the way that she was trying to catch Jandy Rober right at the end of her punches on the full extension, which is where you're going to generate a lot of power, and it will teach her to use her range a lot better, because when you close down the ranges, especially being a grappler, she's got quite a lot of options there. So being aware of that is pretty good. So being all the way out and being able to, score effectively from those positions, I thought that she was getting better at that. It did get to a bit of a brawl, and we saw that, for me, I felt like she was throwing her right hand a bit too close to her left hand, not letting the left hand fully do the work before she would come with a big old right hand over the top, and not necessarily to set up anything else beyond it, just a big old right hand, like ducking her head, looking at her toes and hoping that it's going to hit. But there were some aspects there which really made me think that she was making some really good adjustments and development with her striking. So that was great to see. But the thing that really impressed me was the way that she endured and overcame the adversity. Like, she got busted up to the nose. Now, my coach, David Lee, UFC vet, MMA fighter, but a lot of people know him for his ground fighting in particular. He's got a crazy style. I think he wants to do a little bit more on the grappling circuit these days. But he will always tell you, when you go to a jiu-jitsu competition, it's not a fight. It's a match. It's a jiu-jitsu match. It's not a fight. And therein lies the difference. When you go into a MMA fight, let's ignore boxing and kickboxing, but when you go into an MMA fight, professional rules, you can get cut, knocked out, busted up. And it doesn't matter whether it's your pro debut or whether you've been doing it for 30 times. I mean, look at Cowboy and Connor. He got his nose broken through a shoulder. You know what I mean? So it was inevitable, I guess, but how will a fighter deal with that? If you've ever been cut, there's a sensation to it. If you're bleeding, how do you react to seeing your own blood? When you go on your back and now things are just disrupted. And until you go through it, you don't know how you're going to react. And so I think that the corner team learned about Mackenzie in these situations as well. Because I think she got into a situation where she got hurt by the knee. Was it a knee or a kick? But certainly from having her head low, she got caught on the nose and it looked like it was broken. And then I think she'd tied up, and we saw that it was head to head. So she got did she jump guard? Anyway, I can't remember, up against the fence. And you could see her touching her own nose. She was affected by it. And it was towards the end of the round. It's bleeding. She was, trying to see how bad the damage was. Goes back, and first thing she says to her corner is, "I think I've broken my nose." And her corner just turned around and said, "So?" She knows it's fine. Jason Perillo, great coach, took Michael Bisping to win a world championship, and many other great fighters as well. BJ Penn has been under his tutelage, so he's seen a lot of stuff in that corner. And he got a background. It is actually a broken nose. It's not a big deal. And yeah, I can say that. My nose has been pretty messed up over the years. It could be way worse. Tony Ferguson in this very fight card. and also Moreno. And maybe a busted arm, although he said not. Anyway, I digress. We learned that she can then go back to the corner, come back out, and not labour on it, and get the job done. Go forward, keep putting your face in danger, and go and do your job. And she did that, and she came out smiling. I think she's a wonderful addition to the roster, not just from all of her skill set, but her and Amanda Hebas is another one that comes to mind. Like, their positive energy. I've never met Mackenzie Dern, but I was lucky to have crossed paths with Amanda Hebas. Interestingly, they fought before and Hebas was the winner. Just a really nice positive energy about their work. And she, in her post-fight interview, was talking about Tecia Torres. We now go on to the fact that she's 5-1 on the UFC now. She narrowly missed out on that performance of the night. Tecia came away with a big win. She was the higher ranked out of Jandiroba and herself at number 11. And because Hebas, I think, is around number 9, like, where does she go? I don't think she can leapfrog Hebas. She has a win over her. So that keeps her below, and then Tecia Torres is just above, and she's just got a win. So who's next? And that is a question I put to you guys. Let me know. Who do you think? Who do you think you would like to see Mackenzie Dern fight next? Because there's a whole lot of contenders in that division. For me, I think scheduling and the fact that she even mentioned Ticia's name, albeit very respectfully, yeah, I think that's the fight to make. Let me know.